Okay, some people ask me how they could get their data into charts using numbers. Even though it's not as pretty as some of the other bits of software that you could use, I'm going to show you now. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is open up Numbers and use it. There's two versions of Numbers. You should be using the newest one. If you aren't using it, use the newer one. Choose a blank, choose OK. Okay, here's my new table. We're going to paste in my data. I've got my data already done. I've got my frequency, I've got my length in centimeters, and I've got my averages to do. To work out averages, you're going to use the equation equal average, and open up brackets, and you take the selection of things you want an average of, close your brackets, and press enter. That's 109. You can drag down your equation. So there's my averages. The things I want to plot in my beautiful graph are length. If I hold down the command key, I can choose the average as well. And then you choose chart from the top there and choose your scatter plot graph. There's my graph. It's not pretty at the moment, but it's showing there is a correlation between the two. Next things, let's add on a title for your graph, and let's add a border as well so we can see where the graph goes. We're going to change some other things as well. So let's change, first of all, the axes, and we're going to change the minimum, maximum so they're more appropriate. At the moment, I can see that my graph starts at 25, actually it starts at 30, so there's no point in my y-axis starting below that. So let's go to y, oh, the x-axis is one on the bottom, isn't it? So we'll change it from auto to 30, and then we're going to go for the maximum, it's automatically worked itself out. The steps are much nicer now, they're in steps of 5, that makes a lot more sense rather than steps of 2.5, whatever it was before. On the y-axis, value y, we're going to do the same thing. The lowest it goes down to is 50, 65 in my data. Let's call it 60 because it makes my numbers nice and round. So the maximum is going to be, or the minimum, sorry, is going to be 60, like that. So when I press tab, I've got a pretty line coming up there. And now I'm going to add into it a couple more things. What do we need? We need to have the axis name put on. And we're going to do the same for axis name put on. We'll change them so they say the right things in a minute. And we're going to try and add a trend line. The trend line we're going to do is in series. Oh, I'm going to change the symbol because it's a rubbish symbol. Let's choose an X. Can we make them small? Very pretty, are they? Let's see if we can get a better X than that. Plus. No, pluses look better. Trend line you're going to choose is a linear trend line. It is beautiful. It shouldn't be a linear one, but we're going to give a linear one, and we can show the equation for it as well, just so that we know what the slope is without having to work it out later on. And we're done. Jolly good show. Oh no, we're not. We haven't given the title. Graph title. A graph to show the relationship between stuff along the bottom. What was along the bottom? It was the length and the frequency for a musical instrument. Okay. Up the side we've got frequency. Along the bottom we've got frequency. Let's have the units as well. A, Z. And along the bottom is length. And then that's down there. We should also change our axes a little bit down the side. So let's change the y-axis. It's got steps as 4. Let's do steps as 5 because they're in nice equal, happy steps of 10 each. There you go, graph done. We know the slope of it. We know what the line of best fit is. We've got a title for it. It's all beautiful. Thank you for listening. I do hope I've recorded that. Bye-bye.